Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show. We are live at PRI. We have some exciting guests in front of us, don't we, Nick?
Yeah, we do.
We have Garrett Keister with us. He's one of the 2024 Hoosier Hero Drivers. Garrett, thanks for coming on the show with us. Thanks for being here. But most of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a great honor to be here, and just appreciate Hoosier for everything they do for us.
You know, it is a great. We love being part of Hoosier too, and that's why they asked us to interview all you drivers and stuff. So it was exciting to see the announcements and stuff. So we'll get into some history of you, what you do, all that kind of good stuff. But also for any of you watching, you can call in, and if you want to ask Garrett a question, if you'll just call the main line at our dealership 316-462-3673. Tell the girls you want to get patched on the podcast, they'll patch you in. And you can ask Garrett a question. If you don't, you want to sit back and just listen to what Garrett has to do and what he does and how he races. And I will say, I'd like to say what I'd like to say, but he's got more bigger than what I got to go get on that motorcycle and go. So you're a flat track racer, right?
Yep. I've been racing four-wheelers for probably right at 20 years now.
20 years, yeah.
Yep.
So started pretty young, it sounds like.
Yeah, we just kind of – my dad bought us a four-wheeler, and we went and started riding around out at the house. And we go to a couple four-wheeler trails. It ended up being a four-wheeler racetrack about 10 minutes down the road. So we throw our lawnmower tires on and go out and try it out.
You can try it. Have fun.
Yep.
So you've let's backtrack for a minute. Been doing it 20 years. Where are you from? That's not.
We're from Harrison, Arkansas.
Harrison, Arkansas. So you've traveled a little bit, and you said you're going to travel more next year. But for 2023, how'd you do?
We did pretty good in the actual circle track series. We won the championship there.
Good.
And we've got a whole new bike. It's still TRX based, but we took the whole chassis, redid it all. It's all new components from Walsh Racecraft and Ryland Johnson Racing for working on the frame. We haven't had the best results the last couple of years, so we figured let's just try something new and see how it does. In the beginning of the year, we had a couple problems, you know.
Oh yeah.
But with anything new, that's how it goes. So, But by the end of the year, we had it working awesome, and it just felt like it was the best bike out there.
That's cool. So, I know the process of going to be a Hoosier driver, a hero driver, was a fan nomination, and then I think they got all the Hoosier people together to vote and everything else like that. So it is a huge honor to be on that group, and it's a pretty salty group, I think.
Yes, for sure.
From that part. So, what is your plans for 2024?
We've actually already started on a brand new frame. We're gonna send off and have Ryland work his magic on. The guys at Walsh are working on some new suspension components for us. Axis has sent us out a new pair of shocks and
Axis, huh? Okay.
Custom Axis shocks. Yeah, Penske Racing, the guys over there are always willing to help, send out new shocks, new springs, whatever we need to do to get it to start working. They can definitely get you hooked up if you want to give them a call.
So for our listeners that are watching and everything else, Garrett, tell us more what you kind of race and what it's like and the feeling when you're on the bike, that kind of thing. But a lot of people don't, our listeners don't understand all the forms of racing that Hoosier supports. So we're like almost like a late model kind of car. We do race circle, but we also have some inside with jumping and stuff. We're not huge jumpers. We're just out there hitting the max speed. I like to throw the bike sideways and just let it just flow out there like a car, basically. But it's just the fastest guy around the track, and sometimes riding it sideways is faster, but sometimes it could be a little slower also. Well, Nick, what about you? You think you get on one of those bikes and float around like a car or not?
Oh, I mean, maybe when I was his age, I definitely would. But we were talking earlier. I think he's in his prime, and sounds like he's doing pretty well. So tell us what tire in the Hoosier tire line that you run.
So we run a 18-10-10. It's just a flat track tire, and we try to use all the compounds we can get our hands on, a RD 12, 15, 20, or a 30. If they made them any softer or any harder, we'd definitely be trying them for sure.
Yeah. So like in our racing, a lot of the tire preparation and the tire maintenance and the tire care really comes into play. What on a quad what do you do to that tire? I mean, I don't want you to give any of your speed secrets away, but just kind of in general, what do you guys do to that tire? Do you just buy it, mount it on the wheel, and go out and race it? Do you grind it, sipe it, groove it? What do you guys do to get the best performance out of that Hoosier tire?
So it all just depends on how the track and track conditions are, of course, but if we get into a couple tracks where we got to go to work on the tire, grooving them, small sipes or small cuts, big cuts, that all makes a huge difference. And also siping the tire circumference and doing all that stuff helps out a lot. And that is a thing to the new age coming up. I say I'm the old guy. I'm only 25, but I was with all the old guys back in the day, But the new age people, they are kids coming in, they don't really know that that's a lot of winning the races is how good you can get your tire. You know, your suspension can get you very close, but your tire can also help out too.
Yeah, that's 100% right. You know, that tire is the only bond between that car or that bike or that quad and the racetrack, you know. So from the top side of that tire, it's getting everything that the bike's giving it, and then on the other side of that tire, it's getting what the racetrack's giving it. So yeah, that tire preparation's, I mean, really important, it sounds like, in about every kind of racing out there, not just the car racing.
Yeah, 100%. And you got to be able to get the right compound for your tracks, or you could go out there on a really soft tire and in 4 or 5 laps burn it up, and you got a guy on a hard tire that's going to come in on lap 10 and just drive around you. He doesn't even have to be faster. He just got all the traction, you know.
So, you know, talking about tire prep, because we race the IMCA modifieds, so we work with that G60, and we spend, I'm going to say my son Jake spends about an hour a tire. So how much time do you spend per tire?
If we're in between heats or mains, we can do a set of tires probably in 30 or 45 minutes.
Okay,
you know, getting them cut and siped, you know, getting them ready. But if we're rushing, trying to get ready, we could get that thing cut and ready to go in under probably 20 minutes, both of them.
So you've actually, you're actually waiting to the track to see what the track is before you go prep your tire.
So I've got, of course, Hoosier's always kept me hooked up with tires. I try to keep every kind of compound mounted on a wheel or tire. And then I'll wait for the track conditions and see what's going on before I'll start cutting or grooving or siping or anything.
So let's go into that, because you got to read the track.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
Yep. 100%.
That takes a little bit of a talent to know how to read that dirt, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's tough because, you know, they could go out there with the water truck and you think, man, this thing's going to be hooked up. I don't know what I should be doing. But by the time you just keep watching the track and see how it does, and after 2 laps, the track could already be slick again. You know, it's just crazy how it works. I'm not saying I'm the best at it by no means, but we've gotten better at it for sure, and it helps out.
Okay, so let's talk about how big a tracks do you normally run on from that part?
Usually it all just depends on a track. Could be 45 seconds or it could be a minute and a half long. It all just depends on the tracks. And we usually, in our series, we run 12 or 15 laps. So we could be out there for 12 to 15 minutes, you know, and that goes back to the tire, knowing which one to use. If you burn up a tire in 6 laps, you're going to be in trouble for the rest of the race, you know. You can only make a bike so wide.
Yeah. And so how wide are your tires? So our listeners kind of understand what you're racing on.
I think they're 10 inches wide, or right at 10 inches wide.
Right at 10 inches. Yeah.
10 inches wide. Yeah. And how tall are they?
They're 18 inches
about
tall.
18
inches tall. So about 10 inches shorter than a modified tire from that part. Now, what, Nick, as far as a tread design, is that they got a whole different tread design on the bikes?
Yeah, so for the tires that they would run on, like the flat track quads, are very similar to the tires that they would run like on a left rear on a micro sprint. So pretty much built in the same mold, utilize a lot of the same construction components and even some of the same rubber on those tires.
Yeah. So how many people race we? You got a crew and all that good stuff?
Yeah, we used to have a whole race team. Like we had somebody in, if there was one class going, we had a guy out there. The next class, we had a guy out there. Right. But we kind of slowed down and everybody's kind of branched off, you know, and having families and work. Sure. Everybody gets caught up, you know, but we're still out there. We've got me and my dad, of course, my family always helping us out.
Sure.
And we have, I call him Old Man Mark Lee because he's 55 years old. But, man, for an old man, he still goes out there and gives it to us young guys on a good day, you know. He's still a very fast guy for racing back in the 80s. You know, he's got great stories of getting a race with all the old greats.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be able to listen is awesome.
Listen to him and go and stuff, too. So, how's your racing work? You got heats and then a main, or how's that kind of work, too? So people kind of.
And for the pro class, they'll let us go out for 15 minutes and we get practice. You can do whatever you want, pull over, change tires, sway bars, shocks, whatever you want to change.
Okay.
And then we'll have heat races. They'll be usually 6 laps. And then we've also got in our races this year, we've got a joker lane. So we have 6 laps of running the normal track, but 1 lap you have to take the joker lane. It could either be longer or it could be shorter. It just all depends on how the track owner or the promoter sets it up.
Okay.
So it's crazy racing, and then they throw a joker lane in there, and it could change up everything. Somebody could pull monster hole shots all day, and if they can't get through the joker lane good, you know, their whole racing day could be done with.
So a 6-lap race, you got to take at least 1 in the joker
at
lane.
least 1 time. Yep.
Now, if it's shorter, could you take all 6 in there?
No, you can only do it 1 time.
Only do it one time.
Yep.
Just one lap.
One shot. I think timing is, could play a big part of that.
You just got to be able to hit it perfectly, get in and out before the next guy gets caught up to you.
Yeah,
it's definitely a crazy thing, but it makes the racing more exciting, you know.
Well, we got to go back to think too. The racer side of me too, and everything. I want to win a race. I want to go and all that kind of stuff. But if we don't have the entertainment for the crowd,
100%,
we're in trouble. And that's what we got to get this back into an entertainment type of a situation where it's fun for the crowd and all stuff. So I see how that Joker Lane would be cool as hell.
For sure.
Maybe
we need to do that
wrench
in
into it.
dirt track.
We need to. That would be fun.
Throw an inside lap in there that you got to take at one time.
It's pretty cool.
So what does the future look like for Garrett? Right now you're racing quads. You've been fairly successful. Where do you see yourself down the road? Is you want to make a career out of quad racing? Do you see yourself moving up into a different level of motorsports? What are your aspirations, and kind of what direction do you want to take your racing career?
If it was possible to make it a 100% career, I would love to do that. That would just be the perfect thing for me to do. But I don't know if it would be there for me, but I'm going to try and race as long as I can or till my son crew moves up. And then when he's ready to get in there, I think it'd be time for me to step down and just be there for him like my dad was for me,
Yep.
Did your dad race?
No, he never
raced.
He tried to race, but it was better to just help me out. I don't want to go into the stories, but it was better for him to help me.
No, I get that too. So when you head out for 24, when's your first race? You got that dialed in yet or anything?
We're not for sure where we're going 100% yet, but in April we'll know where we're going. We're either going to go to, I don't know, the first race of the Midwest Series, or we'll either go to North Carolina and run up at Black Ankle Raceway and try that out.
So how long is your season? So from April till when?
Till usually in September.
So that's about the same time frame as ours racing and stuff too from that part. So so you have how many different tread designs to mount up?
Well, we actually only have one. Well, everybody uses about the same tire, the 18-10-10, but everybody gets it into a different compound.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I should have said compounds is what I meant to say. So there are 4 or 5 different compounds you have to choose from?
There'll be a 12, there'll be a 15, and a 20, and a 30.
Who makes that decision which tire is going on that bike?
Well, that's a tough decision because me and Dad, we go back and forth all the time.
Do you? I hope my son's Jake's listening.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
It's a team thing for sure. Me and my dad, we've always went at it both at the same thing, Yep. But I don't know. It's just
you got to guess at it, right?
You gotta guess. Yep. But like if we've been to a track before and we know what works, then that's what we're using. But if we're guessing, we're just gonna go all the way out and give it whatever it's got.
Yeah, exactly. So that's part of the fun. So it's you and your dad basically running your crew. Is there anybody else helping you with your bike or anything?
We have all the great sponsors, of course, helping us get there.
We want to get to all your sponsors and everybody that helps you and all that stuff. I want to make sure you get them out there several times. That's a huge part of your.
Yes, sir, for sure.
We realize it or not, our sponsors are what helps us
keep us going.
And so no different than this drag car sitting over here. That's why he's here. He's one of our great sponsors, and it has to be a partnership with you and your sponsors. So who's some of the people that help you get up and down the road and do the stuff? And
for sure, Hoosier Racing Tire. We couldn't do it without them and always supporting us and whatever we need. And they also help out the series. If you win a race, you get 2 free tires.
Oh, wow.
So that helps out a ton, And of course, my dad, he's got a business and everything, and that helps us get to all the races and whatever we need and gets the bikes going and gets them running. And Dad does all the mechanicing on all the machines, and he bought a dyno, and we're doing all the tuning, and that stuff helps out a lot. For sure, he's number one guy,
Having your own dyno is huge.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell that already from that part.
It helps a lot.
We're starting to learn some of that, too, in our side of the racing on that part, too, having a dyno and stuff. What would that really help and do?
Well, you go out thinking, man, I've got something that works awesome, and then you roll it up on the dyno and, wow, this is not working awesome, it's not good. But it definitely helps, and it helps you. It's definitely a tool you need if you're going to be racing.
If you're going to be racing and going. Yeah. So still plans just to stay in the quad? Like Nick asked, no plans to try to move up in anything else?
I would love to get in a car, and I know Dad would 100% be there to back me because we've already talked about it, but I don't know. It's a full-time thing to be on the four-wheelers, and I love it, and we've been doing it forever. So I don't know.
As long as you enjoy it and you're having fun, stick
for
with
sure.
it.
That's what I'm thinking.
And again, to be nominated for a 2024 Hoosier driver, hero driver is huge. So you must really stand out, Brill, in Hoosier's eyes, but let alone the fan base that voted for you too.
Yes, sir.
From that part. So it's a huge honor. It's an honor for us to have you on our show.
I appreciate you guys
doing all that stuff and taking some time out of your busy schedules. I know you're busy here at PRI and everything else too, the things you need to do and stuff like that too. But again, thank you for this time. Any other sponsors? Anybody else you want to thank?
Yeah, for sure. Ryland Johnson Racing. He's out of Arkansas. Also, he does a lot of XC stuff. He's kind of he used to be in the TT world. He got out, but he's now helping me and helping a bunch of other people. He's getting his way back in the door. He can do
Good.
just about anything. And also Walsh Racecraft, them two guys together could just build you anything you want. It's just off the wall stuff. You call them, they get to working on it. They'll get you done and get you set up.
Fantastic.
But, Custom Axis Shocks, Micah over there, always taking care of us. Web camshafts, B&B, Frank Batista helping us out, build some power. Kenny Bullington, Jet Lab, Danny Walton at Jet Lab Carbs and Throttle Bodies. He does all the good work. Fourworks, Daryl Rath at Rath Racing. Just all the guys behind me. It's a team. It's a team thing, and that's how we get to where we are.
And you don't realize, do you start rattling off all your sponsors, how much it does take to get you to be
100%.
fast, to get you where you need to be, and all that stuff. That's why I want to make sure you thanked all those guys and get them some plug time too for everything they do for you, because it's huge to get a sponsorship, and we've got them. We got guys running at us all the time to try to help and stuff.
Racing these days takes an army.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So. It does take an army. So next, another thing that just popped in my head. So your motors, how long will run last, or how long before you actually tear it back apart? How many runs do you go before you?
Well, we're actually taking all the old TRX motors out of them and putting the new like 24 CRF dirt bikes in them. Okay. And those guys from the Supercross are running them for hours, Yeah. So really, you could buy one at the beginning of the season and put a piston head cam and everything into it, and it will last all year. And we haven't had any issues with them, and we're tuning them and everything, and they run perfect, and they're electric start. That's nice. Getting away from the Kickstarter.
What kind of RPM are you turning?
Oh man, on the dyno you can see 10.5, 11,000, and they're still making great power up there.
And they're 450 cc's.
450. We have to stay under 450. We can't go big or anything like that.
Can you? I don't want you to have to if you don't want to. Can you tell us your horsepower?
Well, everybody's dyno is different, so I just
good answer.
I just like to say 60 horsepower sounds good to me. But it works.
I understand. I just wanted a range. I didn't want you to give it because I don't want to give my numbers out either. So I get it. So but I was just kind of curious, my own source, to understand what you're dealing with. But think about 60 horsepower. And how fast are you moving usually?
We're moving pretty good on the into the back stretch. They could see us running 70 or 80 going into a corner, and I love to be going 70 or 80 and just throw it sideways and just swoop it in there.
Just let her eat, right?
Yep, let her eat.
Let her eat.
It's awesome.
It's good. So anyway, Garrett, thank you again for your time.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, most importantly.
Thank you.
I know you'll represent Hoosier well, because that's what that's all about, is out there representing Hoosier and how they will do and everything else from that part. So really appreciate your time. Thank you for getting your sponsors in there and stuff. Thanks for making me learn something about the quads, because I learned a lot here just sitting here talking to you. I'm sure I can sit down for another hour with you and learn more about it, because it's kind of crazy how your four-wheel racing is kind of like our four-wheel racing on what we do, how we set it up, what we do. Yep. I wish I had all those different compounds to pick from on a tire, but we don't. But we set up at the track, and our tires are prepped, done, and ready to go, because we don't have time between anything to do that. That's why I was curious how long it took him to prep one. But 2 tires in 20 minutes, boy, I think we can do that, Nick.
Yeah, we're hustling for it, but we can get it done if we have to.
Yeah. So,
but thanks again for your time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
We're going to be watching and paying attention to where you're going. So we'll stay in touch. And
anything else you want to add? Anything at all from that part?
I think we're all good there. I got all my sponsors in there. Anybody I did miss, I appreciate all you guys. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Yep.
And my beautiful wife and my son for being here. It's a family sport, and that's what makes it most enjoyable, is having them there with me.
Well, I was hoping he was going to get in here with us for a little bit, but I guess maybe not. But that's okay.
Well, he's needing to take a nap. He's getting a little cranky.
Well, hold on, I'll go with him. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll go with him. I need one here pretty quick too. So, hey, Garrett, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you again. Good luck in 2024.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Appreciate you. Thank you.